it's a pretty good feeling, you know. You just get on the server, people's like, "Fuck you, you eat ass," and I'm like, "Hell yeah!" What the fuck is going on? Make that the intro.
Welcome, Medieval, to the podcast. Could you please introduce yourself?
What's up? I'm Medieval. I've been playing this server for a few years, pretty on and off, but I really started being active this year.
Okay, so what's your actual join date? Since usually in this podcast we interview new friends.
I don't even know, dude. I joined from Russia.
Okay, so that's you're like an old
I'd say
old individual.
either 2016 or 2017.
Okay, that's fun. How long did you play back then? Was it just like one join?
It was one join. I think I played like once per year because I thought it was fucking boring.
Okay, and what did you experience on that first join back in like 2016, 2017?
I think I remember escaping spawn was pretty easy. I have like the worst memory ever.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, as it turns out, escaping spawn is still pretty easy.
Did you have a hack client when you started?
I did not. I was vanilla.
What was your
that's
first
really
hack client?
It was Impact
Okay.
because it
did
was free.
suck?
It was trusted.
Was it bad? Did you hate it?
I mean, I never tried any other ones at that point, so in my mind, I thought so.
Okay, so it was a pretty good first client. I know that was definitely my first client. When did you get Impact for the first time?
It might have been the second time I joined,
Okay,
around probably mid to late 2018.
Okay, so the first time you joined, it was full vanilla for that whole like day or whatever. Then you're like, nope, game sucks. I'm leaving.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What brought you back every single year?
To be honest, it was FitMC. I watched his videos because I'm a huge history buff. So every time I watch his videos, it just makes me want to join.
Okay, so it's you like would you say you like the group dynamics and you're interested by like how all the players interact?
It's mainly the builds.
Okay, so you're definitely a build guy. Would you say that you're a builder? Is that what you do mostly on 2B?
Yeah, I suck ass at PvP, so it's basically the only thing I can do.
Okay, you're not alone in that. I also suck ass at PvP. Okay, well, on to when you started being more active. What brought you into 2B to, like, stay? Like you said, like, somewhere around last year when you actually started being, like, active.
I met this guy. I don't know if you guys know him. Warhammer 40?
No clue who he is, but go on.
Okay. Well, we share a similarity. We're both in the military. So I guess that really connected us on a personal level. And we started a base. Pretty close to spawn. And just built nonstop there. Talked about our jobs and shit like that.
Okay, that's actually really nice. How did you meet him?
He was in chat. and he just said he was in the military. I was like, oh, I'm in the Army. So I fucking DM'd him, and I was like, hey, yo, I'm in the Air Force. And that's basically how it all started.
Okay, that's actually a really sweet story. I'd say that I definitely also like meeting people in chat. Have you actually kept in contact with them the whole time?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so shout out to that guy. Apparently, according to Medieval, he's pretty cool. Warhammer number. Yep. Okay, so once you started being active, what was like the first thing that you did that was actually important on 2B, would you say?
I'm not sure. I know, like, something important to myself.
Yeah, important to
that would
yourself.
be, just building with friends, meeting new people. I met this guy from Japan. He's fucking cool. Just growing out of my comfort zone of being a loner.
Okay. I've noticed that a lot of what you're talking about and remembering is just you meeting people. Would you say that's what you like to do on 2B?
Yeah, I don't really do much IRL. I'm very antisocial. So, meeting people online is definitely, like, gives me relief that I'm normal.
Okay, well that's nice to hear. Would you say that 2B, with that being like a way for you to actually meet people and talk to people, do you think that's actually improved your social skills? Do you think that's helped at all with what you're talking? Bro, welcome Medieval. Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Medieval. I've been playing the server for a while. Pretty non-stop. No, not non-stop.
More cake. I have more cakes.
Medieval,
Okay,
how did you acquire
have
your
an exception.
username?
You can get more cakes.
I actually bought it from the guy that I originally met on the server.
Cool.
Okay, how much money did it cost to get the username since it's pretty unique?
500.
Dang,
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
I believe that.
Would you say it was worth it?
I guess. I mean, I have extra money to spend, so
Okay.
I don't really mind.
I
Okay,
do have a question. Being military, what was your draw to the server?
It's a place to get away from the stress of everyday work, everyday fucking. My leadership is ass. So
Would you say it gives you a good break from the structure that's required in the military, and then you get the freedom of the internet?
oh yeah, I'm tired of fucking saying yes sir, no sir all fucking day.
I like it.
Okay. That's actually pretty interesting to get it from that perspective.
I like the no uniformity.
Okay, what would you say makes 2B different from those experiences you have, like in the military, just in everyday life? Like what's different about talking to people on 2B?
Freedom of speech.
Okay.
You can't talk shit about anyone in the military without fucking getting screamed at. So
Okay. Do you know that from experience?
no, my friends have experienced it though, and I try not to do that from their stories.
Okay, so I'm sensing that you're a laid back kind of guy. I think I can tell. Do you use this like freedom of speech speech that you have on 2B?
Yes, I use it a lot when I'm not muted on the server.
That is a very good point. How long have you been muted? Like, have you had any really long mutes or anything like that?
My main isn't muted, but medieval is muted, so fuck me, I
Okay.
guess.
When and why was your first mute?
I was in the Justice Against Mutes Discord,
Mhm.
and I guess the server owner didn't like that, so I got muted.
That's very sad. What was your association with Justice Against Mutes, since that always comes up during our interviews for some reason?
I was speaking about Warhammer again. He made it, and he invited me to it.
Oh, so Warhammer was the original owner of Justice Against Mutes?
Yeah, he was the original person that got muted. That was actually fucking pissed about it.
It's very fun. I know that I also get pissed about being muted. I think I'm on month 3 or month 4 right now. It's very sad.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, I cry every
My
night because
condolences.
I can't spam Vape Pens Eats Ass 24/7. It's so sad.
So sad.
Because that's all I do when I'm unmuted.
But it was fine until we passed the ownership on to Crazy Crew.
Okay, do you have like hard feelings toward him? Or do you think it's just that you don't like the leadership?
I think the leadership is asked, and they like really haven't done anything of importance yet. They kept saying they were planning something, but it just never came.
Okay, that's good to know. Speaking of like groups, what groups on 2B have you been a part of? Besides Justice
Absolutely
Against
zero.
Mutes? Okay, so that's like your only experience with like grouping?
Yes.
What's been your decision behind that? What's made that?
What do you mean?
Like, why have you stuck to being kind of like a nomad or being alone?
I guess just because I can make my own choices, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to follow like anybody specifically, try to make anybody happy.
Yeah, so it's definitely just for you. What do you think, with you talking about like freedom of speech and all of that, what do you think your goal is on 2B? What do you play 2B to do or achieve?
It's probably said every time, but I play it just for fun, man, basically. Like I said, I love building. It's very like cathartic for me.
Okay, so
I go to spawn every so often just to fucking troll people.
yep, I definitely appreciate trolling people, especially just out of nowhere. So is your whole thing that like, do you just not have like an overarching objective? Do you just play just like to fill time to do something other than work?
I do, yes.
Okay, and then would you say that it was definitely worth it, or do you have any like gripes with the server?
I don't think I have any gripes. You know, I can't really be mad at anybody for like, you know, crystalling me, but so far I think everyone has been pretty cool.
Okay, just wondering, how much playtime do you actually have on 2B?
I have 11 days.
Okay, that's a pretty respectable amount. I'd say like for playing for a whole year, I guess that's pretty okay. Definitely not the New Friend podcast anymore, but yeah.
Do you have a main base that you have kept?
The base that me and Warhammer had person got griefed by ominous demonics.
Rip.
And apparently he got like $30 or something for griefing it.
Oh, so I kind of want to know now, what was the $30 about? Like, was there something against you or Warhammer? What was going on?
I think Warhammer. I know Warhammer is like, that name is pretty out there in the community, and I know he has a lot of like haters since he made the Mutes Discord.
Okay. Do you think any of that has rubbed on to you, or do you think you're in the clear?
I know he is associated with the medieval account, so people probably still think I'm him.
Oh, okay. So, what do you think? Do you think that he's like deserved any backlash? Like, what? Tell me a little bit about him, since I've noticed that you two seem pretty close.
He's pretty chill. He hasn't really. He's basically like me. He doesn't. He just plays to get away from life. He doesn't like groups, I don't think, as much, because he gave away that group because it was becoming too much for him.
Okay.
So I think he just tries to be a follower. He doesn't really want to be any sort of leader.
Okay, is that the same way you play, or do you just want to be alone?
If the group is really like super interesting, if they actually get work done, I'll join. But if they just fucking procrastinate and shit doesn't get done, then I don't like that work ethic.
Okay. With usually being like a nomad and not really like 100% always wanting to be in groups and socialize, would you still play 2B if you didn't have connections on the server?
I would probably not.
Okay, so it's like I know that you've said you like to be like a sort of a loner, but are the connections you make and the people you meet, is that still like the important part of 2B?
I think that is the most important part for me. Just talking to people that I don't work with and with similar interests in, for like building, for example. Pretty easy to make connections with them.
Yeah. How many people do you think you've met that you've made connections that you like care about with?
Probably 5 or 6.
Okay. And then do you always try to keep in contact with them? Do you make sure that those are the people you hang out with and talk to?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. That's always nice. It's important to meet people on 2B. I'd say it's definitely better with other people than alone.
Oh yeah, 100%. It gets so repetitive without talking to anybody.
Yeah. With it being repetitive, do you do anything to make sure that 2B stays interesting when you're doing like you said, you're a builder? Is there something that you use to switch it up, or do you just like to build in general?
I like to build anything. I build a base until I get bored of it, and I just move on to a different place and I build more.
Okay, would you say that you have any attachment to your bases, or like, since just moving on from a base, sometimes that's hard?
Maybe a little bit, but if I'm really like not attached to it, I normally just blow it up myself.
Okay, self-griefing. That sounds fun. with griefing, do you think that having your base on 2B, knowing that it's gonna get griefed eventually, do you think that adds to the experience of building a base?
I think it does. I love some good ruins. And just the thought of like, oh, I built that. Someone enjoyed griefing it, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, yeah, that's always a mindset that's good to have on 2B. Would you say that you ever get mad when somebody griefs a base, or do you try to like keep your calm about it? Especially with that thing you were talking about with like the guy griefing it for $30. Like, does that get into your skin, or are you just like, okay, sure, I'll start another base, I don't care?
I mean, it really depends. The longer that it's lasted, I mean, maybe, but I know it's like embedded in the community, so.
Okay, and then with like the larger 2B community, I want to talk a little bit about that. How do you feel about the community as a whole? Like, do you think that it's a nice place where it's easy to meet new people like Warhammer, like some of the other people you've met? Or do you think it's a place for people that aren't really the best?
I think it's pretty 50-50. There's half the people are fucking absolutely fucking weirdos, and the other half is fucking. I would be IRL friends with them.
Okay. And then going off of that, would you count yourself as a weirdo, or like which part of the 50 are you on? Come on.
It really depends on the day. You know, sometimes I feel like being strange, fucking, you know, trolling people, scamming people. But other days I'm chill.
Okay, with the whole 50-50 you were talking about, I want to know, do you feel like it's a spectrum, or do you feel like it's like very one-sided one way or another? Because I just want to know what you think about, like, I know there's people that grief and people that build, people that are nice, people that are annoying. Do you think that a lot of the people are closer to the middle, or do you think it's a very like polarized community?
I feel like there's some people that you just like can't change. Like they're just too far into that rabbit hole. And the people in the middle are just like, oh, they're half fucking weirdos and they're half chill. Like it really depends on the day, like I said.
Okay. Other interviewers, any questions you want to ask?
Yeah. Back to the topic of griefing. I definitely feel this way. I definitely know that a lot of people don't feel this way, but would you agree that griefing is a little bit sort of the lifeblood of 2B?
Yes, I would think so. I think it only moves because, I mean, if bases weren't griefed, I don't think any more would be built. Which, it's like a cycle. It's like just a never-ending cycle. That's basically what it is. You build, gets griefed. You build again, gets griefed again.
Absolutely.
And if there wasn't griefing, there'd be no building. So,
What's been your coolest discovery on 2B?
I think the coolest discovery was I found a base pretty far out by Ormonger, and I know he's pretty
Well known.
he's pretty up there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Okay. Any other interviewer questions?
No, but
I
just
got one.
like to gassed. Go ahead.
Based on what you've seen on 2B, would you say humans are inherently good or inherently evil?
I'd say somewhere maybe in the middle. You know, there's depends on how you're feeling a certain day. You know, sometimes you wanna just blow shit up. Blow off some steam. Some other days you just want to give people some free shit.
Okay. Talking about with the two sides, do you blow stuff up ever? Do you just start griefing things just because it's like that kind of day?
Yes, I did that a few days ago.
Oh, that's fun. What did you grieve?
This small ass spawn base.
It's very sad. I bet somebody worked really hard on that. You should feel ashamed.
I feel incredibly ashamed.
Yep, I bet somebody went home and they started crying, and it was like some 12-year-old or something.
I will apologize to them, sir.
Okay. You don't need to. I hate all of the 12-year-olds that play. They make me very mad. Okay, actually, talking about that, since you're our first guest that isn't really a new player, what are your thoughts on new friends?
Like just them in general.
Yeah, just them in general. Do you like new people? Do you think they're annoying? Like, what do you think is important or unimportant about new friends and their presence and what they do on 2B?
I think for me, it just really depends on how overly edgy they are.
Okay, so edginess, that's fine. We can keep interviewing even though you got disconnected. But like, is edginess an important factor on 2B? Like, what do you think about edginess?
I mean, you can be a little edgy, but if it's like over the top, then just fuck off.
Okay, and then I just want to ask, since you're all about the free speech aspect, do you think that goes into like people being edgy, or like, what do you think about people being edgy? Do you think they shouldn't be allowed to do that, or do you just personally not want to interact with those people?
I mean, they can do that. Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's all a server is supposed to be about. It's freedom of speech. But personally, I just think. I mean, you can be edgy. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, it's just always an interesting question where it's like, being edgy is annoying, but if you don't let people be edgy on the server, that's taking away from what the experience is.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
Sword.
And then talking about the 2B experience, what do you think, since you've been playing for a while, what do you think is the minimum requirement for you to get the 2B experience? Like, what is the thing you have to do to like get the server?
Yeah, I think you have to get geared, definitely.
Okay.
Go base hunting. Possibly find a base, get a stash. If you're into history, go see all the historical monuments and shit like that.
Okay, how into the history are you? Since you said you were a history buff, like, do you enjoy going out trying to find old signs, stuff like that? Visit bases that were griefed?
Yes, 100%. I search for signs on the world download all the time. Just looking for the oldest one.
Do you ever
Seeing
take
if it's still there.
of stuff that you grief to send to the archive?
Not really. Most of the bases that I grief are just fucking small, insignificant ones.
They would still take them on the archive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have to start
we
doing that,
should-
man.
We should get our Siege archive.
Most
We're-
definitely.
Yep. Siege, you should tell them to put things on the archive. You're the history buff. That's you.
CAJ.
CAJ,
Oh, boy.
I mean, sorry. My
We are
bad.
definitely about to get killed in a second.
I need to get my
100%.
Fit MC
100%,
college
100%,
education.
100%.
Wait, is it beep beep not a Jeep in the whatever?
He's coming to Crystal. Promise. Watch.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him. You can message him if you want.
It might be Pedro.
Medieval, what's your favorite historical thing of 2B?
Here it goes. Here it goes.
Oh, GG.
He's getting ready.
Favorite historical thing?
Correct.
If it's Pedro, he won't fuck with us.
I'd have to say the very early spawn bases. Like 2012,
Those were amazing.
pre 2013 spawn bases.
I completely
I'm
agree.
dipping.
I know there's still a few that linger around that aren't destroyed yet.
For sure. Within the 156k.
Oh,
Have you
dude, I just
found
hear
quite a
cat.
few of these?
I have found a few. I think my favorite one has to be the not too far from spawn. It's like 1,000 out.
What kind of
It's
base?
covered in a lava cast. It's an all cobble base. There's only one room left, still
Wow.
intact.
Do you know what year?
It was 2011.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
It was like a face punch base, I think.
Definitely the cool stuff to find on 2B. It draws a lot of people in.
Yep, it was very fun. Okay, well, I plan on wrapping it up soon, so do you have any last remarks? Are there anything you want to say to the people watching, maybe about, like...
We're gonna die, y'all.
What? We're gonna
Yeah,
die?
it's just a ticking time bomb now. Elixir started.
No, don't start it yet. We have to do the vape fancy test question.
Oh.
Oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
Oh, crap. Okay, well, Medieval, important question. Wait, before you go, does vape pens eat ass?
Yes, all the time.